You ever pull into the shop with that pit in your stomach, the one that tells you something's not right, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Maybe your check engine light flickered on during your morning commute, or your truck's been guzzling oil like it's going out of style. Or maybe you're just tired of getting played, tired of walking into a dealership only to walk out feeling like you just handed over your wallet and your dignity. Look, I've been turning wrenches for over 30 years. Rain, snow, or that weird gray drizzle we get in March that somehow soaks you to the bone in 2 seconds flat. And all that time, I've seen cars treated like disposable coffee cups. And I've seen Fords, Chevys, even our Chrysler roll past the 500,000-mile mark like it was just another Tuesday. And you know what the difference is? It's not luck. It's not brand loyalty. It's 10 minutes. That's right. 10 lousy minutes a week of the right kind of attention, and your American car could easily outlive your phone, your laptop, maybe even your marriage. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. No fluff, no scare tactics, no you need a special scanner only pros have. Just straight up shop floor truth. The kind you'd hear if you walked into my bay with a busted heater core and a thermos of bad coffee. Now, before we get into the grease, let me bust one myth right out of the gate, the idea that modern cars don't need maintenance. They'll tell you that. Dealership brochures, oil chains, even those slick YouTube gurus who've never actually changed the timing belt in sub-zero temps. Just drive it, they say. The computer handles everything. Well, let me tell you something. Computers don't clean carbon out of your throttle body. They don't magically relubricate dried-out suspension bushings. And they sure as hell don't stop your battery terminals from corroding into green, crusty tombstones that leave you stranded at 2 a.m. Your car's computer is a great assistant, but it's not your mechanic. That job still belongs to you or someone who actually cares about your ride like it's their own. And if you're willing to spend 10 minutes a week doing the stuff I'm about to show you, you'll not only save thousands, you'll unlock a level of reliability most people think is impossible for an American car. So if you've ever had to call a tow truck because your low-maintenance SUV gave up on a grocery run, drop a comment below. I read every one. And if you're ready to turn your daily driver into a legacy machine, hit like right now. This is going to change how you see your car forever. But here's what no one tells you. Your car's biggest enemy isn't mileage. It's time. Yeah, you heard that right. I've pulled apart brand new engines with 30,000 miles that look like they've been dragged through the desert. And I've revived 1998 Dodge Rams with 487,000 miles that ran smoother than most new crossovers. The secret? Consistency. Not fancy additives or $500 engine flushes from guys in parking lots. It's the small, boring things you do regularly that add up to something extraordinary. Start with your fluids, not just oil, but coolant, brake fluid, even power steering. Most people wait until the manual says change every 100,000 miles. Big mistake. Brake fluid absorbs moisture from the air like a sponge, and that water turns to acid inside your calipers and master cylinder. In colder climates, it can literally freeze. I had a customer last winter, school teacher, whose brakes went soft on her way to pick up her kids, scared the daylights out of her. We pulled the fluid, and it was brown, watery, full of rust particles. Cost her $80 and 20 minutes to fix. If she checked it once a month, she'd have caught it before it became an emergency. So here's your first weekly task. Pop the hood, look at your brake fluid reservoir. If it's not crystal clear and light amber, it's time. Don't wait for the warning light. By then, the damage is already done. Now this next part, this is where most folks go wrong, and it costs them big time down the road. They ignore the little noises, that faint ticking from the engine bay, that soft clunk when you go over a speed bump, that weird smell that vanishes for a minute. I get it. You're busy. You got bills, kids, a job that barely pays a light bill. But those little gremlins, they're not going away. They're multiplying. Think of it like termites in your house. One or two, annoying but fixable. A whole colony, now you're rebuilding your foundation. Last summer, a guy rolled in with a 2015 F-150. Said it just doesn't feel right. No codes, no warning lights. But when I took it for a spin, I heard it. A subtle whine from the rear end under light acceleration. Most shops would have said, it's fine, trucks make noise. But I knew better. Pulled the differential cover, and sure enough, the pinion seal was leaking and the gear oil was contaminated with metal shavings. If he'd waited another 5,000 miles, that rear end would have grenaded on the highway. Instead, we replaced the seal, flushed the fluid, and he was back on the road for under $300. Moral of the story? Trust your ears, your nose, your gut. If something feels off, don't dismiss it. Write it down. Come back to it during your 10-minute weekly check. And if you've ever ignored a small noise only to get hit with a huge repair bill, drop a guilty in the comments. I've been there too. And that's not even the weirdest part. Let's talk about something dealerships absolutely hate me for mentioning. Tire rotation isn't just about even wear. It's about saving your suspension. See, most American cars today run on all-season radios that wear faster on the front, especially if you got front-wheel drive, which, let's be honest, most sedans and crossovers do. But here's the kicker. Uneven tire wear doesn't just cost you rubber. It creates imbalances that beat up your ball joints, your control arms, even your wheel bearings. I've seen brand new tie rod ends fail in under 40,000 miles because the driver never rotated his tires. The vibration from the uneven tread pattern was hammering the steering linkage like a jackhammer. So here's your second weekly ritual. Take a knee next to each tire. Look for uneven wear. Feathering, cupping, inner or outer shoulder wear. Run your hand over the tread. Does it feel smooth in one direction and rough in the other? That's cupping, and that means your shocks or struts are on their last legs. Catch it early, and you're looking at a $200 shock job. Ignore it, and you're replacing half your front end for $1,200. Not worth it. And hey, if you never checked your tires like this before, hit subscribe so you never miss another tip that keeps you safe and your wallet heavy. Wait till you hear what happened next. A few months back, a retired Navy mechanic came in. Guy had a 2004 Chevrolet Suburban with 389,000 miles. Ran like a dream. I asked him his secret. He smiled and said, "The battery." I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. He explained that he cleaned his battery terminals every month, used a wire brush, baking soda and water, then coated them with dielectric grease. Why? Because a weak electrical connection doesn't just cause starting issues. It makes your alternator work overtime, which cooks your voltage regulator, which fries your ECU overtime. It's a domino effect most people never see coming. So here's your third weekly habit. Pop the hood, check your battery. Are the terminals clean, tight, and corrosion-free? If you see that white or green pottery crust, that's not just dirt. That's acid eating away at your electrical system. Clean it. Takes 5 minutes. And while you're there, wiggle the cables. If they feel loose or brittle, replace them. A $15 cable could save you a $900 computer. If this just saves you from a nightmare repair, hit like right now and share this with someone who still thinks maintenance means waiting for something to break. But here's the real industry secret, the one they don't want you to know. Your owner's manual is outdated the day it's printed. Yeah, I said it. Automakers design maintenance schedules based on average driving conditions. But let me ask you, when's the last time your life was average? Stop-and-go traffic, mountain roads, sub-zero winters, dusty rural highways? If your driving falls outside that narrow ideal window, and let's be real, it does, you need to adjust your maintenance. For example, GM says change the transmission fluid every 100,000 miles under severe service. But what counts as severe service? Towing? Short trips? Hot climates? Yup. And guess what? Most of us live in severe service conditions 365 days a year. I've seen countless transmissions failed at 75,000 miles simply because the fluid turned to sludge. So don't trust the book blindly. Instead, get your transmission fluid tested annually. Or better yet, drop the pan yourself every 50,000 miles and inspect it. If it smells burnt or has metal flakes, change it. Same goes for cooling. Most manuals say lifetime, but that's marketing speak. In reality, coolant degrades, loses its anti-corrosion properties, and can cause catastrophic engine damage. I flush coolant every 3 years, no exceptions. If you've been following your manual to the letter and still had a major failure, drop a comment. I'll help you figure out what went wrong. Now, this might surprise you. The single best thing you can do for longevity isn't under the hood. It's inside the cabin. Keep your interior clean, not just for looks. Dirt, moisture, and food crumbs attract rodents, and rodents chew wires. Not maybe, they will. I've lost the count of how many fuel pump relays, ABS modules, and even airbag control units I've replaced because a mouse decided your glove box was a five-star hotel. One customer, a nurse, had her 2017 Ford Escape shut down completely on the interstate. Turned out, mice had nested in her HVAC system and chewed through the main engine harness. Costed $2,800, all because she left a granola bar wrapper in the cup holder. So your fourth weekly task is vacuum your carpets, wipe down surfaces, and never leave food in the car. It's not just about cleanliness, it's about survival. And that brings me to the final, most powerful secret. The mindset shift that separates 500,000-mile cars from 150,000-mile garage queens. You've got to see your car not as a machine, but as a partner. Talk to it. Thank it when it gets you home in a blizzard. Apologize when you push it too hard. Sounds crazy, maybe, but the mechanics I respect the most.
And that brings me to the final, most powerful secret. The mindset shift that separates 500,000-mile cars from 150,000-mile garage queens. You've got to see your car not as a machine, but as a partner. Talk to it. Thank it when it gets you home in a blizzard. Apologize when you push it too hard. Sounds crazy? Maybe, but the mechanics I respect most, the ones whose cars last forever, they treat their vehicles with respect. They don't floor it from cold starts. They don't ride the brake down hills. They let the engine warm up for 30 seconds before driving, then drive gently for the first few minutes. It's not about idling for 10 minutes like your grandpa did. That actually hurts modern engines. It's about thoughtful operation. Because metal expands when it's hot, and oil flows better when it's warm. Rush it, and you're scraping metal on metal. Patience builds longevity. If you've ever babied your car and been rewarded with years of trouble-free driving, share your story below. I love hearing them. So, let's wrap this up. 10 minutes a week, that's all it takes. Check your fluids, listen for odd noises, rotate and inspect your tires, clean your battery, adjust your maintenance for real-world conditions, keep critters out, and treat your car like a trusted friend, not a disposable appliance. Do that, and your American-made ride won't just last, it'll thrive. Long after the lease return crowd is shopping for their fourth new car, you'll still be rolling in your trusty steed, sipping coffee at the gas station, wondering what all the fuss was about. And that's the real victory. Not saving money, though you will, but earning freedom. The freedom that comes from knowing your machine inside and out. The freedom from fear of breakdowns. The quiet pride of keeping something alive in a throwaway world. If this resonated with you, do me a favor, hit subscribe and tap the bell, because next week, I'm exposing the truth about lifetime transmission fluid and why one automaker quietly extended their warranty after thousands of failures. You won't want to miss it. Until then, keep your wrenches sharp, your terminals clean, and your eyes on the road. I'm Tony, and I'll see you in the shop.